Hey guys, John here. Just want to do a quick video blog here of something that's been on my mind a little bit, but I wanted to wait until most people have had a chance to see Star Trek. My biggest problem, what I see as the biggest weakness with the new Star Trek film. Now, if you read my review, you know that I loved the new Star Trek film. I called it the best film of the year so far. It surprised the hell out of me. I did not think it was going to be that good, and I ended up loving it. But it was missing something and had one major flaw that I think was so bad it prevented it from being maybe considered one of the all-time great sci-fi classics. And that was the villain. Now, I mentioned that in my review, that I wasn't thrilled about the villain Nero, the Romulan, played by Eric Bana, who I love. I love Eric Bana. But to me, the villain just wasn't convincing. And the main reason he wasn't convincing to me, and here I'm getting into the main problem here, and it breaks down into two different areas of my problems with the villain. Problem number one, and I kind of alluded to this in my review, is that I didn't buy why he was so pissed off. Now, yeah, his planet got blown up. And I understand that when you get hurt, sometimes you misplace your anger. But Spock was trying to save the Romulans. It's not like Spock did something wrong. You know, it's not like he stopped off on his way to saving Romulus to have sex with Nero's wife, and that's why he was late getting there to save the planet. He tried. He tried. The Federation, I never understood why he blamed the Federation. I mean, maybe it was because of an extension of Spock, but I never understood in the film the length of his anger and venom and bitterness towards the Federation. Now, I think they could have fixed that in the movie if they said that the Federation chose or delayed in helping Romulus because of, like, politics. There, you know, a choice to not interfere, or it was tied up in some political whatever. If for some reason Starfleet did something that helped in the destruction of Romulus, even if it was unintentional, then I could maybe buy Nero being so mad at not only Spock, but also at the Federation. But as it was, you know, I just didn't buy it. Yes, I can understand misplacing anger when you're hurt and suffer great loss. But by the time the main story of Star Trek gets rolling around, Nero's had 25 years to think about it. And his crew have had 25 years for it to sink in of, like, you know what? They tried to help us. You know, they didn't make the sun go supernova that destroyed our world. You'd think, I mean, and I saw it, the movie never convinced me about why he would be so angry at Spock and at the Federation. And when the villain lacks a reasonable motivation, it takes a lot away from it. But let me get to my biggest problem about the villain. The movie, for me, never addressed the issue of this. In the Star Trek universe, people never have a problem with changing or working on the timeline. Nero now has 100+ years. Now that he's in the past, he has 100+ years to go to Romulus, tell them, hey, just so you know, that sun's going to go supernova in a century. Start planning now. He had the opportunity to save his planet. He was now in the past. He could have changed the future. He could have saved his world. But he just sat around for 25 years waiting for Spock to reappear. And they never, ever in the movie really address why that is. Why doesn't he try to save Romulus? Why doesn't he just go and make a phone call? Oh, hi, Romulus? Guess what? Sun's going to explode in about 100 years. You might want to get ready. And he never does that. And those big, huge, gaping holes make the villain nothing more than a prop in the movie. And when your villain is nothing but a prop, the movie loses a lot of steam. And I loved Star Trek, but to me it could have been a lot better if, one, they had come up with a device to explain why Nero was so mad, because the way they did it, I didn't buy it. And number two, explain to me why he didn't just go to Romulus to try to save his planet. I mean, if he's that pissed off about losing his planet, why wasn't he doing anything to save his planet now that he was in the past? To me, those are the two biggest weaknesses of Star Trek, a film I loved, but if they had just fixed those, and I believe they could have been easy fixes, could have been like even 10 times better. Anyway, for the movie blog, I'm John Campea.